we're back. I hope everyone's break was good. Hopefully everyone got a coffee or something. I'm really digging this game. Obviously we're, I think, 2 years through youth. So hopefully in the next hour or so we can get through youth and adolescence and see what the, what adulthood is. But yeah, I'm liking this. The choices are quite difficult and trade-offy. Like, I like the earning the willpower in the last choice. I had to... My dad had to get stabbed, and it was like, oh yeah, okay, so it's like even not being defiant, so to speak, still had its cost, right? Anyway, it is the year 1124, summer, and it's the family dinner. Today, Father ordered the dinner table to be brought out into the yard. For the first time in months, he's home. Outside, oh, sorry, the commas threw me up. For the first time in months, he's home. Outside of the confines of his always locked study. He spent the entire day playing with Nathan and you, discussing various matters with Stefan, who's now an adolescent, and walking the garden. And now dinner under the open sky. It's barbecue time, bitches. That's what I would have called it. Year 1124. Summer. Barbecue time, bitches. Your entire family gathers together with Father at the head of the table, smiling. He asks each of you about your studies. Nathan climbs up on his knee and recites a counting rhyme in a funny sing-song voice. Stefan mentions that his fencing teacher praised his accomplishments. He rises from the table together with Father to show his skill in a practice duel. Next comes Gloria's turn. She stands on her chair and recites a lengthy prayer by heart. Right, because you can say poems so long as they're not your own. Mother showers your sister with praise. Father chuckles quietly, hiding a smile in his mustache. When your turn comes, you recite all the ranks in the Legion, from common soldier to high commander. Stefan listens to you with a skeptical look on his face. What is up with Stefan? Night slowly falls, but the servants ensure that the yard is well illuminated. You don't feel cold in the dust tonight. It feels good, yet so important. All of you are finally together, sitting at the same table. No fighting, just smiles. No arguing, just pleasant small talk. That's foreboding. Then a servant approaches Father with a letter in his hand. He reads it in the dim light, and each line gradually washes the smile off Father's face until only a stone-cold mask remains. Mother looks at Father with an unspoken question in her eyes. He's a jealous baby. He is. Stefan's just a little bitch, isn't he? Anyway. Mother looks at Father with an unspoken question in her eyes. Gregor Brante is coming back to Anazot. He is the head of our family, my father. Ooh, Grampsy Gramps. Gramps who didn't approve of the marriage, if you missed that in the early preamble prologue bits. So, your grandfather's coming. He don't like lowborn people like your mum, and thus everyone but Stefan. Well, here we go. Good thing we have saved willpower. Ever since the news of grandfather's impending arrival, there's not been a single day when the house has not been cleaned or decorated. Your parents anxiously make sure everything is in order. They tell you to wash your face and hands after walks and scold you for leaving books on the floor. They tell Gloria she'll be flogged if she's ever seen hiding in the attic. They make Stefan stay in his room. Even baby Nathan gets in trouble. Everyone is on edge. Like, I know this is just like painting a picture, but it's odd that you haven't gotten in trouble. Really? I guess scolding for books on the floor? Anyway. Then one day, finally, grandfather arrives. It's a grim day, so hot your neck is sticky with sweat. Father, Mother, Stefan, Gloria, you, and Nathan, the entire Brante family, stands on the porch in front of the house. The house servants lined up behind you. Your carriage arrives, and out steps a tall, gaunt old man with a heavy walking stick and a heavier gaze. You cringe instinctively. Good health to you, father. Children, greet your grandfather as you've been taught. Still trying to look like a real nobleman, are you? You can't fool me, Robert. I was the first of the Brante family to be ennobled by the mantle, and I'm the only one who remembers how to bear this burden properly. I live honorably by my lot. Your marriage to that low-born wench cut us off from everything ever becoming nobles of the sword. My progeny could have been born bearing noble blood. Already, yeah, we knew he was gonna be a prick. The fact that he, like, basically was like, screw your wife. Or, don't have your second wife. Father, I beg you, this is not the place. I mean, it does make father more endearing, who was kind of standoffish earlier. Grandfather eyes him with scorn and walks into the house, the entire family following close behind. I've been away far too long. The entire house is a mess. This is an insult. How can you live in such a pigsty, Robert? The servants have grown far too lazy, all thanks to your commoner of a wife. I warned you, didn't I not? And yet you did as you saw fit. And the children, what do they know of tradition or honor? You're being raised in a virtuous family, father. And now you're speaking like a lowborn who's content to live in humility. Twins willing, now that I'm here, this will not happen again. I'm taking your oldest son to the capital. I can see you cannot provide Stefan with a proper education, so I will correct your mistake. I think the voice has changed, and I apologize for those of you who wanted continuity of vocals. Brother's fate had been decided just like that. Your father does not object. He orders the servants to prepare Stefan for the journey. Stefan freezes in place, glancing at grandfather and father again and again. The latter puts a hand on his shoulder reassuringly. Grandfather's lips are a tight line, white with contempt. The house is examined room after room. Everything grandfather sees is showered with scorn. He scoffs at a crease on a blanket in Nathan's crib in mother's room. He mocks Gloria's knitting in her room. The door to your room is next. You take out a dagger and you stab that bastard right in the face. Sorry. What is this, Robert? 10 soldiers in your younger son's room? He was born a commoner. I won't have him daydreaming of battle. My toy. Grandfather seizes the box containing the 10 warriors of the Holy Order. Your father stays silent. Anger and fear boil within you. This is your big present from the first day of your studies. It means so much to you. But what if he's right? What if you need to prove your right to command the toy soldiers first? Grandfather shakes his head in disapproval and shoves the toy box into the roaring fireplace. If you wait too long, they will melt in the flames. So there's 4 choices, but because of my previous choices, I don't get 2 of them, which are watch them melt helplessly, rescue your 10 warriors. I would like to rescue my 10 warriors. Not allowed to. Watching them melt, I mean, you're 5? 6? 6. You're 6. And this man your whole family is afraid of. Like, I get it, right? I would burst into tears. It's viable, I'm 6. Strike grandfather. So here's the thing. Like, Aadil out here, be like, yeah, fuck that guy. But I don't think that's like what I would choose in the moment. And definitely not the, like, less headstrong character that we've been sort of building up. Stefan to become your nemesis when you ultimately destroy the nation. Yeah, sorry, I missed that comment from earlier. Yeah, it definitely feels like he's gonna be already a nobleman, and then if you manage to rise through the ranks from your choices, you'll have to butt heads later. Possibly in the war. The war we know is coming. Which, like, at first, so I'll get back to the choice, don't worry about it. But at first, I was, like, skeptical of the book starts with you're writing the book and, like, you're having a flashback, and it was like, it's kind of tropey. But actually getting a notion that a war is coming does help shape. It's not as open-ended, right? You know there's, like, a rebellion, revolution, some sort of war after you're an adult. So that sort of gives you a notion of, well, what kind of skills would I might want to, like, it just helps, like, without railroading you, helps guide the path. I think it's really, actually really smart wrapping. Anyway, my toys, guys. Like, okay, what if some guy, you know, some patriarch came in and grabbed my Legos and threw them away? What would I do? Today, I would want to do this. But I haven't been headstrong enough up until this point to just do that. Which is, of course, deny what the grandfather was doing, and... Right? Because I have been more passive, I'm not allowed doing that. Oh, and I haven't been passive enough just to watch them melt, which would get me willpower and more. This is hilarious. If I had 4 perception, I could have 5 perception and more choices in the future. But I did actually. So this is like, if I min-maxed perception, I think I'd be here. But I took a couple things that weren't. Okay, so either... Oh, shit. Sorry. Burst in tears. You start crying, overwhelmed by the horrible sight. He doesn't respect you, but he doesn't already respect you. I'll lose some willpower. That seems reasonable. Hi, Chippy. Welcome to the show. We're trying to figure out what to do about our favorite toys being burnt by our dick of a grandfather. So, driven mad by anger and injustice, you kick him in the leg. I'll still lose his respect. I'll gain determination and perception. But apparently, I'll die. You get 4 deaths. In this world. I mean, I like the idea of standing up in the face of it. I don't want to die. Yeah, Granddad ain't happy being kicked. I mean, I think I might have to be boring and take the one that I don't like. But just because if I'm honest, okay, let's go back in time a bit, right? Looks like it got in at a tough time. Yeah, you sure did, Chippy. So we didn't like the injustice of hitting our brother hitting us and then we hitting back, and that got us in trouble. We lied about hitting the kid in the toy store, and that got our dad stabbed. I think so then it's like, have we learned from our mistakes? I think like I was saying before, I think I want to not like hold back my anger because I learned from like reacting in the toy shop around these toys. It's a nice like cyclical, I'm now making the better choice, don't know what to do, which is why I'd rather like this, to be honest, if I had the option, just because I like the narrative there. But I think I won't hit Granddad because I like I said, I'm not trying to build the hot-headed guy. So sorry guys, we're gonna lose some willpower and Granddad's gonna not respect us. What can we do, right? Thanks for the follow, Chippy. Appreciate it. You watch your beloved present, to token of father's love and care, burn before your very eyes. The tin melts, the unpleasant smell of burning paint fills the air. You all get very high. For a moment, you cannot breathe and you see no reason to maintain your composure. The tears start flowing, burning your cheeks and staining your shirt. You hide your face in your hands, and then you hear your grandfather's voice dripping with disdain. Or distaste. Oh, the boy is a weakling, just like his mother. Was I supposed to fucking punch you? No, because you know then I would have died. I lost some willpower. Yeah, well. I think pure lead poison. I think it makes sense narratively, even though I don't like it. The master of the house, 1124. Soon grandfather leaves. Your elder brother Stefan goes with him. From that day on, father's hired teachers tend to you and you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, and the way of life in the blessed Arcanian Empire. You often distract yourself from their instruction by playing with your younger brother Nathan. Your home goes quiet without your elder brother. A little too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stefan. Grandfather sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he's now studying hard in preparation for service as a nobleman. I love that. You can't take care of your boy, so I'll show... Oh, I can, so I'll do it. And by that I mean I will send him somewhere else, because he's too much of a handful and I suck at this. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I've been studying with my peers, and we're learning how to live as nobles in a noble society. We're also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favorite part. With Stefan now at the boarding school, Grandfather arrives once more. This time to live in your home. The only good thing is that he often has an urgent business in Eterna, the capital of the Empire, and he has to travel there. One day I asked your mother where he lived before. In Eterna, she says, but now his place is here. What? Did he lose his... Isn't he a Each time Grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is now always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating Grandfather's chambers, including his library and sitting room. Sometimes Father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same. His home is mine, and I'll live here as befits a man of nobility. Fuck off, Gregor. Some days Grandfather stays home, and on those days you try your best to stay out of his sight. There's no way you can avoid family breakfast. The food is there, but you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She's been crying all night again. Grandfather sits at the head of the table where nobody used to sit before. We're playing this on Steam, Chippy. Robert, it is high time your youngest sons underwent their sacraments. Sir Brante, please, let them live free of the lot for a while longer. They are but... Shut your mouth! Robert, that wife of yours is impertinent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens again, she'll be eating her gruel with the servants in the kitchen, where she belongs. It's time you consider a real marriage, Robert. One to a woman of the proper station. Gloria drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down Mother's cheek. Father does not look away from the plate, his hands clenched into fists. Baroness Elodar is one such woman. She's a comely widow and a fine match. She is suing for her inheritance right now, and could use proper support and a husband. You can keep your lowborn leading her around if you care. Servant mistress, I don't care. I will not do that, Father. I am the head of this family, and this family's standing took a severe blow after you married that commoner. It is unthinkable how you could give up on the memory of beautiful Amalia Elborn for this lowly woman and that bastard child of hers. Now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me. Pause here. I gotta say, the highborn widow being Elborn, little on the nose, guys. Like, I really like the writing so far, but Elborn is a touch. Yeah. Father nods curtly, trying not to look in Mother's direction. Father, I wish to see Stefan. If I find your conduct in the Baroness's presence satisfactory enough, then you may see him. She's coming for a visit tomorrow. Be prepared. Jeebus. Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it on his plate, and leaves. Mother's lips move silently. Nobody says a word. Then Father stands up and orders you and the other children back to your rooms. He needs to speak to Mother in private. Father comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed and adjusts a crease in the woolen blanket. He distances himself from you after Stefan's departure, so you're not used to such attention from him. In the candlelight, you see his face in the dark. There's a sour expression on it. My son, Baroness Emma Lodar, will be visiting us tomorrow. Please be polite and treat her with respect. Nathan will do as you do. I want this dinner to be as immaculate as possible. Don't let me down. We could tell something bad's gonna happen. Or something. On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. You see red all around her eyes. She's been crying, and for a long time it hurts just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. Anyone been paying attention to when Nathan was born? Wait, I can check this out, right? How old is Nathan? No. Family? No. People. Nope. Family. There it is. Nathan is... Oh, come on. I'm annoyed. Sorry. I thought it would give us ages on this screen. We just know he started reading sacred texts at a very young age. Oh. So Dad wants him to, like, enter the priesthood or something, is my guess. Oh. Anyway. Alright. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets, your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in a humble brown dress, looking pale. Grandfather has uncharacteristically contented look about him. You hear the sound of wheels and hooves against the cobbles in the yard, then a pair of dainty heels come clacking. The antechamber is completely quiet and still, fearing Grandfather's observant eye. The door opens. You see your guest. A beautiful dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant deep blue. Father takes a hand of Lady Elodar and kisses it, showering her in compliments. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce Mother. Baroness, allow me to introduce you Robert's son, Dale and Nathan Brante. Frankly, it's his eldest Stefan who deserves the most attention, but currently he's studying in Eterna with other young noblemen like himself. It is my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day. Grandfather eyes you with a probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Will you accept her here next to your mother, your father's rightful wife? Not pig-headed enough. No, it's perception. Greet her politely, walk away with Mom, maintain your composure. I mean... It's not walk away with Mother, because again, we're trying to be like a little more calculated as a person, and I don't think that will solve any problems, but I don't want to... I like maintain your composure, but I don't know what the difference is. So let's see. Greet the Baroness politely. High reputation, lower unity. Mum really hates you, Dad'll love you, and... Grandfather will slightly like you less. This is like, I know it's... Dad won't like you, Mum will like you, yeah. But get a perception. Sorry. Greet the Baroness politely, following her example. You take Mom's arm, leave the hall by her side. You greet her with restraint and avoid getting too involved in the event. And of course... now I'm quite annoyed that twice now the choice I've wanted to do has been Perception 4, and I just wasn't there. I think I'm gonna take the politeness. I don't like doing nothing here. Like it. Forget about burning willpower, just boring, like, I don't know. I feel like we either go with the flow or walk away. I mean, this gets me that perception I wanted. I think I'm just gonna do it politely. I gotta not overthink this. Oh, and Twitch chat, would you have done otherwise? Like, again, you have to remember, I'm like 6. I'm trying to be like a 6-year-old to a certain extent, which maybe I think 6-year-olds are more malleable. Yeah, fair enough, Supernova, taking the perception and walking away. Especially considering perception seems to be the thing I'm tripping over, but... Oh well, I did the choice, I can't go back. We are doing an Iron Man run. You follow Father's example and kiss the Baroness's fingers gently. Her laughter fills the antechamber, ringing like chimes. You gallantly offer to lead her to the sitting room. She graciously agrees. Behind your back, you can hear Mother sobbing. See, now I can see why not doing Iron Man would be nice, because I wanted to just be polite. I didn't want to be like... gallantly kissing. Like, I think I didn't read the difference between... Maybe I should have done the willpower move and just had the restraint, because I should have thought this was going to be much more buying into the situation. Anyway. Grandfather Baroness Elodar engage in small talk over dinner. She tells him of the woes of litigation over her late husband's inheritance, and he advises her like the judge he is. Father is mostly silent, only getting in a word or two. You do your absolute best to behave yourself. After the decorous farewells to Lady Elodar, Father quietly thanks you for your model behavior. The morning after, he leaves to return with Grandfather to visit Stefan. Mother spends almost an entire day in her bedroom. Cannot bring yourself to speak to her. Now Mom's indifferent towards me. When before she was... I don't know. So, it's also like... One of the reasons why I did that was just like... Mom is super into the lots, and I guess... I don't know, I thought maybe that would be what she wanted. But obviously not. Anyway, overthinking. Father returns from the capital in quiet rage. You overhear your parents talking. Apparently, Grandfather has already poisoned Stefan's mind against him, and he greeted Father with cold hostility. Yeah, he's definitely a dick, isn't he? The name of Baroness Elodar is never mentioned in the house again. Aha! Well, that's handy. And Dad likes me, and Grandfather is meh. So we're still with it. We haven't changed our family's trust, but we have made it. We didn't move towards harmoniousness. We'll say that much. Ooh, I like this track. Father now checks on your studies and often nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in an incorrect fashion. Once he becomes so annoyed, he says that he wishes Stefan had been the one to stay home instead of you. You never expect to hear these words from your father, of all people. The grandfather's trip to the capital took longer than expected. It feels lighter around the house without his presence. You allow yourself a little change of scenery. Instead of your room, you now busy yourself with reading and calculations. In the sitting room, across from the open door to the yard. Gloria's joined you today. She's already helped you progress through several complex passages in the book. Right now, she seems preoccupied with a strange tube. Aren't you hurt by the way Grandfather treats you, you ask? She just shrugs. This looks like a long game with 5 ages to play through. Yeah, I think it's like 15 hours is what I read. Keeping in mind that... Yeah, chapter 1 is like mostly a prologue. Of like, right? Because... Well, they make it so that like... It seems like chapter 5 is the culmination of the book. But the way it was described in the early bits was like... Chapters 1 and 2 are kind of a prologue, but it's clearly not the case. It's like a lot of game happening. Grandfather always says they should get rid of me. I'm used to it now. He hurts you a lot worse because you're close to him. I just have to stay out of his way, that's it. She shows you the strange tube she's been holding all day. Look, it's a kaleidoscope. I got it as a gift. Want to see inside? Excited by the idea, you close the book and peer into the tiny hole on one end of the tube. Your eyes see a multitude of intricate patterns. Each turn of the tube reveals a new web of interwoven colors. They mesmerize you. The kaleidoscope turns the fire burning in the fireplace into a cavalry made of flames. You're riding it at the front of the fiery horseman, ready to face the enemy. Grandfather's face emerges from the intersecting lines, and you swing the kaleidoscope like a sword, cutting it in half. Now you look at the blue sky through the window. The patterns are unending, secretive, calm and peaceful, just like Father's smile before Grandfather's invasion. The deep blue gives way to a scattering of gold, radiating gentle warmth like Mother's arms. This fleeting beauty too soon gives way to a hypnotic new pattern, a Again and again, you see your family and these interconnecting figures as they come together and break apart. And in the middle of this golden glow, you see Gloria's green eyes, gazing at you observantly. When your sister left you long ago, books are abandoned and time slips away unchecked, but you're still busy peering into the kaleidoscope. Order emerges from the chaos before you. Order emerges from the chaos before your eyes again and again. You cannot preserve it, no matter how hard you try. You're caught in inner conflict. There's so much to be done with this kaleidoscope. You should take it apart, or ask Gloria how it works, or keep enjoying the patterns it shows you. You still have lessons to do. I mean, I would do this. This game goes deep. Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm gonna burn willpower and take it apart, even though I know it'll break it, because that's literally what I used to do as a child, was take things apart, even when I couldn't put them back together. But just out of curiosity, I could burn willpower to get determination. I could gain willpower by just playing. But no, I'm gonna take it apart. Not only to get that perception that I've been avoiding. I'm enjoying playing it. Chippy says, I'm enjoying playing it casually a few years at a time. I died twice at age 10 on my first run. I didn't know you could, like, died? Or, like, because aren't there multiple deaths? Now you got me worried. I didn't know you could die. I am enjoying playing this, and you're right, you don't think you need to rush through it. This is a cool game, and the writing's really nice. You definitely... It's evocative enough that I think I could put it down and not forget too much and come back. Plus, I mean, you've got stuff to remind you of what's going on. Alright, but I'm going to take the kaleidoscope apart. You examine the kaleidoscope as curiosity overtakes you. There's something strange rumbling inside around it. It has to be a mystery of some kind. You're dying to figure it out, itching to understand how it works. You rip away the wooden cylinder on the wide end of the kaleidoscope. Inside you see 3 elongated mirrors, put together to form a triangle. The transparent glass shield falls out and onto your knees. A bunch of glittering tiny glass baubles scatter on the table. There's nothing infinite inside it, you realize. It's just a clever trick. With a heavy heart, you go to your sister's room and confess to breaking the kaleidoscope. Gloria is sad, but not angry with you. She asks you to promise never to take her things apart again. You promise. Well, I'm inquisitive now. Aha! This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Because I have perception 4 or greater, I get a secret ant farm event. Your younger brother Nathan is growing. Mother spends more time with the rest of the family now. You help her and play with your brother and take care of him when she asks. You often go to Mother's room to sit at the foot of her bed after Nathan falls asleep. She reads you the sacred books and asks you about the things you learned that day. During these moments, you see the world through her eyes as well. One day, the door of your room opens and she brings in a large box covered with a piece of cloth. It's rare for you to see her so overjoyed. She sets the box on the floor and removes the cloth. The box under the cloth is made of glass and has a wooden base. Inside, you see a layer of earth shaped into carefully crafted passages. These passages are full of hard-working ants. Dale, this is my gift to you, an ant farm. It's a little world in a small box. We can watch them through the glass. Look, this is the queen ant. She's the reason all these little ants were born. You sit by the box together, you hold your breath as you watch the ant colony at work. There turns out to be a method to the ants, these chaotic movements. Every single one of them has a task to perform. Some of them have larger mandibles. They are the protectors of the colony. They can draw blood from your finger. Others work all around the colony, repairing the walls and clearing any debris from the passages. There are also workers who collect food you put in a special tray, leaves, bits of meat, maggots, and bring it to the rest of the colony. You take a worker ant and put it right next to the food. However, the insect has no interest in it. It starts circling around the tray aimlessly. Mother takes a stray ant and puts it back where it belongs. Why'd you do that, my son? The ants cannot do what they weren't born to do. Each of them was born for their own job. You shake your head slowly. If only ants could do whatever you wanted them to. This is your gift now, so they belong to you. Maybe Mother's presence is the reason they won't obey you. Chippy... Ah, cool. Out of curiosity, Chippy, as someone who's also playing the... That's up persisting. Yeah. I was thinking as a child is how I managed to resist, but I'm curious, are you playing with in Iron Man mode, and with the choices revealed or not? Because I can see how not having the like stats show up here would really might change the way you play. It has for a couple of my choices. Mostly it's interesting to see the balance of things, but anyway. Do I kick Mom out? I think I keep playing with my mom. I know it's leading me towards they belong to me now, but like, it says Mom doesn't spend that much time with me, and she's so excited. So here's, I see. I would gain an insight, which I don't remember what that does. Burn my family a bit, gain a perception. What is insight, out of curiosity? So this is the min-maxing thing I was talking about, like, not knowing... Wait. Where am I? I thought I could... Traits. Traits? Personality? Test. Nope. Insight. Oh, I see. Right. So, because I don't have high determination, I didn't get... I forgot about this. Kiss the sword. Huh. Okay, so... I could get an insight by doing this the way I wasn't planning on doing it. Which I'm kind of curious on, to be honest. No? That's what this is, right? Getting the insight? Yeah, sure, why not? This is more me exploring the game. I don't know if I wasn't streaming, I might have picked differently. But let's see what this insight is. You move away from Mother and pull the glass box towards yourself. She looks at you in surprise, but she gave it to you and it'll be easier to learn about the ants on your own. She sighs and stands back up. Very well, I understand. You want to find your own answers. You've grown up so quickly, my son. The door creaks quietly as it closes. You're left to your own devices. You spend a long time watching the ants at work, and then you decide to go outside and find some bugs to feed on. Once your haul is in the tray, you note which bugs to drag away and which they leave untouched. Day after day, you keep the tray full of food, provide the insects with plenty of water. You remove dead ants from the farm. Tiny subjects still refuse to change their peculiar ways. It's just as Mother said, the ant farm is exactly the world we live in. The ants will never know that you are there. Event has happened. Oh, so maybe I misread that. Maybe it would have happened regardless. I don't know. Grandfather's fits are no longer a cause for fear and panic in the house. He's become something you're used to, something nagging, yet not unordinary, like a splinter or a stain on your trousers. Excellent writing. The tension still remains, however. Sir Gregor's disdain for everyone in the house is so palpable it almost stings for real. Your lessons with the tutor are done for today. Walking down the stairs when you spot Gloria peeping into the sitting room through a slightly open door. You sneak up on your sister and tap her lightly on the shoulder. She's startled. Oh, it's you, Dale. Look, Sir Gregor's eating something. Grandfather's sitting on the sofa, flipping through a book with one hand and reaching for a glass bowl with another now and then. Inside the bowl, you see candied fruit. Sweet confectionery forbidden to the common estate, like all sweet things. Yet grandfather's face shows no pleasure as he keeps consuming the highborn treats. Clock strikes 3. Rises from his seat, puts away the bowl on the shelf, and leaves for the yard. He always takes a walk in the city at this time. Gloria nudges you with her elbow and looks at the candy bowl with a look at her. First emotion you feel is fear. Then comes curiosity, and it's stronger. Stefan used to boast the candied fruit tastes incredible. Now you have a perfect opportunity to try it. You try candied fruit first. The sugar starts to melt as soon as you put it on your tongue. It's so sweet. You've never eaten anything as good as this. Take the whole bowl off the shelf and give it to your sister. She takes a fruit and brings it to her mouth carefully, like a rare treasure. There's a thumping on the stairs. Footsteps accompanied by the knocking of a walking stick. You have no idea why, but grandfather's back. You quickly hide behind the sofa and pull Gloria after you, but she's frozen in place with the bowl in her hands. The door opens. Grandfather's menacing figure advances on Gloria. His hand seizes her arm. You squalid, ungrateful, lowborn child! How dare you bite the hand that feeds you? You and your trollop of a mother would be sleeping in a ditch if it weren't for my spineless son. The sweet and pleasant things in life are for the noble estate, not for the likes of you. Did you forget your lot? His hand swings and hits Gloria on the cheek. She falls to the floor right next to where you were hidden. Her fingers glisten with the warm melted sugar that brought you here. Grandfather advances again, his walking stick ready, but then he sees you huddling behind the armchair. Please don't hurt him, Sir Brante. This is all my fault. He tried to stop me. You can already see a bruise on Gloria's cheek. This is only the beginning of her punishment. Gloria was caught red-handed, unlike you. You could still avoid your punishment. What is this, then, milksop? Did you try the sugar too, or were you trying to stop this piece of filth, like she says? Well, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like mocking him along with your sister. What does that mean? You start mocking... Convinced that Gloria will join you. Burn willpower, get a perception. Burn willpower, lose. Yeah, definitely not gonna lie. Get a determination. If there would. So this is where I want to kick him and die. God, I hate this guy. Start mocking grandfather, convincing Gloria will join you, and she'll be grateful. We've got determination. Do we just lose? I'm fine with losing the relation with Gregor, even though, you know, it's probably the only way I get out of this shitty lifestyle. So I can burn my willpower, get a perception, or I can make fun of him and get a determination. He's a stain, right? That's how it described it? Fuck it, I'm gonna mock this guy. See, this is like, I want to be the perceptive type, but I don't want to be too passive. I like it. Like the game is like well written enough, and like the choices are so tight around the stats that it does make me feel like, yes, if I wanted to get the most perceptive stats, I would have to just be very meek and aloof in a way that just doesn't feel right, which is nice. I like it. Yeah, I definitely laugh and mock at that guy. You jump up and try to shield Gloria. Then you start boasting right in his face. Yes, you did eat the sugary treat, and it was very much the opposite of sweet. Good thing Gloria didn't have time to eat hers, or it would have disappointed her too. Gloria catches on in a moment. Yeah, sugary treats are for fat noble kids, but they're gross to us. We're just commoners. You continue your train of thought. Why? We simply got curious after Stefan started boasting about it. He told us these treats are so good you could eat them forever. But no, your elder brother lied. They're simply unbearable. But then again, what would you expect from grandfather's darling Stefan? Grandfather's face is red with rage. He strikes you both with his walking stick, blow for blow. You dare mock me? I will not let this stand. Know your place, you foul, low-born scum. Ooh, the blood on the pages is a nice touch. He keeps hitting you until he grows tired, then he leaves you where you are, muttering in impotent rage. Soon enough, Mother comes in to find two of you on the floor, too afraid to move. She shakes her head in disappointment. You're badly hurt and covered in bruises, yet she still forces you to kneel and recite the precepts and the lots and how important it is to follow them. Gloria's face is bruised and swollen, but she still gives you a weak smile. This is why I was thinking earlier, like, being polite to the mom replacement was like the Lottie thing to do, and mom is clearly Lottie, but we got him so riled up. Two commoners made an honorable noble feel helpless. Makes all the pain worth it. Isn't that right, brother? Yeah, Gloria's the best one. You little dreamer poet. Entire body hurts from the heavy blows, but deep inside you are ecstatic. You stood up to grandfather today. It's a victory you'll remember for the rest of your life. And you did, because you wrote it in your journal on your deathbed, which is what we're doing right now. No, grandfather has to stay for me. How? This religion is fucking stupid. I agree. I think that's the thing, is the whole lot premise makes it so that I have to be a bit determinate, even if I want it to be, you know, calm, intellectual observer dude in the background. The world is too shitty for you not to want to do things. Your mom is very into the idea of lots, but married your father. She seems too religious to have done that. Well, I think he was... Your father was still a commoner until he became a judge, and, like, that's... You're allowed doing that, I guess, is the escape, but I agree. It seems like... Why would... Yeah, having her family in this split situation seems like not something she would, like, seek out with the way she fervently believes in the lots. The sacrament. Father and mother have been focused on Nathan and you since early morning. Instead of breakfast, you're told to say your prayers, wash your hands and faces, and get dressed in plain white shirts. Today is the day of your sacrament. Mom, I want to go play in the yard. No playing today. You and Aadil are big boys now. It's time for you both to have your first sacrament. No one can live without a lot. Poor Nathan has to do it at the same time as me. I at least got to do it after, like, a ways after Gloria and Stefan. Gloria Stefan? Gloria Estefan? Is that a thing? Is that an Easter egg? Let's ask the developers. I don't want a lot. Be quiet and listen. You were born commoner, so you must accept a lowborn lot before the twins. When you grow up, you'll get a chance to earn a noble lot. So, my destiny is blinging. So if we were a bit more headstrong, we would have had a fencing lesson, which I think might have let us do this. But I'm not sure. We'll find out. Father and mother take you to the carriage. Nathan is hungry. He starts whining. Grandfather's the last to get in the carriage. His eyes are on you and your brother, looking for every fault. Soon the carriage is moving along the streets of Anazot, slowly and solemnly. One more turn and you see the colossal white building marked by two massive pillars. For the first time in your life, you are to enter the Church of the Twin Gods. You enter the gate and walk under the splendorous dome of the church. Church hall is divided into two halves. They're drastically different from one another. The floor on one side is rough and jagged, covered in dried brown spots, while the other is smooth and made of marble. Commoners kneel on the jagged floor. Why does the floor have to be jagged? Like, why can't it just be like wood and marble? No, they have to hurt. And the well-dressed nobles and their families sit on pews. So you get the flat ground and you don't need to sit on it. I also am digging this tension chanty music, by the way. Good scoring. Father and grandfather leave you to sit on one of the nobles' pews. Mother walks to the rough stone of the commoner side and gets down on her knees. See her wince in pain, for the lowborn estate shall suffer in the house of the faith. The church acolytes surround you and lead you to the altar where you and the other children take your sacrament this day. Before you stands a tall priest dressed in black, with a sword in one hand and a hefty whip in the other. Nathan's whining grows louder. He dislikes this place. He's scared. You remain quiet, but your stomach roils in uneasy anticipation. The first child to take the sacrament is a jaunty little boy from a family of nobles. The priest extends the sword before him, and he recites the words of his lot. This day forth he will fight and rule and pursue the arts, his mind now forever free from the throes of suffering. For now he belongs to the noble lot. The boy proudly touches the flat of the blade with his lips. Nathan is next to receive the sacrament. He suddenly snaps out of his fearful trance and tries to break free, but the acolyte pulls him towards the altar and throws him on the jagged floor on the lowborn side. The sharp edges bite into Nathan's knees as he lands, spraying drops of red around him. I don't wanna! Dale, why do they want to whip me? What should I do? You try to break free and run to Nathan's side. You want to give him courage and protect him, but the acolyte's grip on you is too firm. You feel utterly helpless. Your little brother has to face the world all by himself. The priest starts reciting the words of the law as he swings the lash over Nathan's shoulders. From this day forth, Nathan, thou shalt endure and work and suffer. Thou shalt be ardent in thy labor and humble in obedience to thy rulers. And now cometh thy first true suffering, which thou must accept with gratitude. The lash cracks. It strikes his right shoulder. It strikes his left shoulder. The blows are so powerful that Nathan falls to the floor. The priest tells him to rise. He's received his lot. Nathan gets on his feet and drags himself towards Mother, his knees torn and bloodied, his spirit broken. It's your turn. Your feet will not move. You can barely muster enough strength to walk to the altar. You get down on your knees and feel the sharp stones below, so sharp your clothing cannot protect you. Your skin begins to burn. The acolyte forces your head down, and you feel the lash being drawn above you, ready to strike. The priest's words are for you now. This is thy sacrament. Thou shalt work and endure and suffer. Thou art about to receive thy true suffering by the sacred lash. Dost thou accept thy lot? So, how determined are we? Okay, I'm not gonna look at. I'm gonna make the decision and then probably not change my mind, but accept it is what is expected. Raise your head is an interesting one. I'm kind of curious what that means. It's grayed out, so I can't. Catch the lash is pretty good. And kiss the sword, I feel like it's like accept the shitty situation. Say fight it from within. Say fuck it. I'm leaning towards kiss the sword. I like the inversion rather than the catch the lash. I think you'll die if you catch the lash, but okay, let's just look at raise your head just out of curiosity. So, if you had enough determination, you would gain willpower and still... Basically, I think it's like the gain willpower version of accept it. Lose a determination, gain a perception. Gain a determination, lose the perception, catch the lash before it strikes you. So, yeah, it's basically... become a nobleman by just willing it? Or don't get beat up? I know Nova once smashed the patriarchy. I kind of like the inversion. Mostly I'm curious what would happen if you just like, what if you just did the other thing? It sucks that you lose a perception though. And to be honest, like if I didn't have the stats, I'd be like, I don't want to do this. Gregor will like me more. I said I wasn't going to be pig-headed, but... So I think this is the more shrewd in the world. Yeah, become a nobleman and break from the inside. Yeah, or like try and improve everyone else's lot. The whip slices through the air, about to strike, but your eyes are transfixed by the blade the priest holds in his other hand. You jump up and away. The lash misses you. You grab the blade with your hands and cuts into them without mercy. The priest wrenches it away from your bloodied fingers. You look him straight in the eye. I am Dale of House Brante. The priest freezes in shock. You seize this moment to pull the sword closer and kiss the smooth, cold blade. You hear cries of outrage among the churchgoers. Mother prostrates herself on the dragged floor, racked with fear. Father remains still, baffled by what you've just done. But grandfather looks at you intently, as though truly seeing you for the first time. There's a semblance of respect in his gaze. You're forced back to the commoner's place at the altar. The acolytes seize you by the arms and legs and keep your face bent closely to the bloodied, jagged stones of the floor. The lash strikes your right shoulder, then your left. You're told to rise. You are a commoner. No, you can't cheat the system by just kissing a sword. Mother takes your hand and leads you out of the church. Once you're outside, she scolds you for being insubordinate and bringing shame to your family. Nathan holds your hand as you walk, his tearful face a mixture of confusion and awe as he looks into your eyes. But you don't feel like you made a mistake. You did what was right for you. Gregor is okay with me. I lost that perception. Gained determination, and I am now super low on willpower. But I think it was worth it. I like that. I like the story that it told. I'm curious about like how whether you could figure it out. I'm guessing if you... Oh. I just like the challenging part. I like the fuck this slot. So just again, we're... Oh. Sorry. Mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long time to heal. Mother says it's a reminder of your lot. Suffering and sufferance. Pain and patience. Sufferance. Gloria shows you the mark of the lash on her shoulder. One day it will never disappear. You're a commoner now. This is the lot you were born into. But Father keeps telling you to study hard, so you may yet earn a different lot and become a noble of the mantle. You learn the true power of the lot only after the head of the family's arrival. In grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is this just him, or is this the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. You're older now, and what's more, you're an elder brother. You've learned how to take care of someone else, how to teach and protect. Soon you are a small boy no longer as the days pass. Play gradually gives way to laborious study. Now your choices will decide your place in the bizarre, ruthless world of adulthood. Your childhood years are over. What time is it? Think. Yeah. Into chapter 1, childhood. Soon you are a small boy no longer. As the days pass, play gradually gives way. We just read this. What? So we didn't get a fencing lesson or die. Interesting. So, and we're a lot more balanced than I thought. I would. Yeah, I wish I was higher perception for selfish reasons, but also this. Maybe I gain willpower at the end of the chapter. Given that this is normally a 2-hour stream and it is 2:20, I think we should stop here because we're at the end of a chapter. But I think I will actually continue this game on stream as maybe the beginning of a long play session. I don't know what time this week I'll do that, but we'll post on the schedule or tweet it out, which you can follow us at Out of Lives Net on Twitter. To find out more streams, podcasts, and other things, also check us out at outoflives.net. There's been a handful of game reviews out there. Thanks for tuning in and following. I'll definitely pick this up again on stream. I'm really enjoying it. This is cool, and already I'm super curious, like, how things would have gone if I was like more laid back or more determined. Like, what does the fencing thing do? And but I'm most curious as to like see a little more of it, to see like chapter 2, what's there. And now I'm curious as to like if I had chosen remarkably different, would adolescence be different? So this is definitely definitely something I will probably play more than once. But let's get through round 1 for now.
www.outoflives.net